तो AK-47 झालं फक्त. Sophie. Sophie left. Sophie. आ रही है, रुक ना जरा. खबर तो ले. Sophie, right side. On your left. Sophie नीचे Sophie. एक सेकंड.
Yeah.
So it would start like in the earlier phase of the relationship, like, do you want to pick me up and take me out for dinner? I was like, yes. And then it came to, do you want to turn the lights off? And I'm like, do I want to? Okay. Now recently it's like, do you want to check on the baby? Do you want to do this? So you realize that do is just there. It's actually you want to. You just don't know it. So yes, do I want to talk about this? Yes.
Yes.
I really do. He's put it really well. Let me just find that and read those paragraphs to you. There you go. Life, as John Lennon famously sang in Beautiful Boy, is what happens when you're busy making other plans. It was the spring of 2008 and I had signed a film called Dhoonte Reh Jaoge opposite a young talented actor. They wanted us to meet at Taj Lands End. Bandra for a script reading. They were already seated at the table at the coffee shop when I got there. The director and a well-built boy in straight-fit jeans, half-sleeved white shirt, and barely contained his training biceps.
You're making this up.
Which had disappeared. Boots and a belt with a horseshoe bronze buckle. His eyes were hidden behind heavily tinted sunglasses, and his hair was a dark mop of unruly curls. My first impression, this boy must live in the gym. What will we talk about apart from protein shakes? It was an opinion that survived well into the shooting of the film because over the course of Mumbai's schedule, Kunal must have spoken a total of 15 words to me. Far from exchanging numbers, we seemed to steer clear of each other except for when we were in position for a two-shot and there was an issue with the lighting or camera. Below are the longest conversations during these 2 months. Conversation 1. Me. That's all.
Hi, good evening, guys. Tell me, when Kareena came, Soha, came and told you guys she was writing a book, what did you guys think? Did she come tell you guys she was writing a book, or did you just find out today?
I think I'll let my other sister, who I'd like to introduce you to, Sabah.
Yeah, Sabah, how did you?
I wasn't just surprised because she's brilliant, and as I think Kunal said, we all tend to, Google a lot of words when Soha's talking. Yeah. But she is, mashallah, very, she writes really well, she speaks really well. So I don't think I'd have been surprised to know that she's writing a book. I'm very proud that she did.
That's great. Thank you. What about you?
I thought they were hysterical, really, really funny, and really well written, and well balanced, and with a funny start and a great sense of humor. So I'm very excited about this. I think it was a really good read.
You sound really proud. Do you have any anecdotes you want to share, or any words?
Soha?
Yeah, something from that you might not find in the book.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'd like to congratulate her. I think this is a great occasion. I think she's done really well with this thing. Sohavia, I went to a wonderful university. I went to two wonderful universities. Actually, she went to Oxford as well as London School of Economics. Highly qualified and was working in Citibank, and all set to do that. And then she came to stay with me for a summer, and quit her job and join movies. And I'm not sure how my parents felt about that, but she's of course has her mother's blood and genes as well, and was drawn to this profession. It was a source of strength for us, and I'm very happy she lives in the same city as I do. But she had gone out to dinner once, and I have to tell this story. It was before she met Kemu here. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but it was kind of a date. He was a really wealthy guy, and he was a big industrialist, and everyone was kind of wondering how this was going to work out. And he was talking to Soha, and Soha was really bored. I don't know if she was already seeing Kunal, and no, in the sense that, just went out to be polite. Anyway, she's out at this dinner, and her friend messages her and says, how's it going? And she...
Tina.
All
There's a chapter called All Roads Lead to Saif.
All right. Sipping coffee, more asleep than awake when I saw the headline. Soha reveals major secret about Kareena Kapoor's pregnancy. What? When? Where? Who? I couldn't answer any of the 4 basic questions journalists are taught to ask, but I was already panicking. The coffee had turned to mud in my mouth and I was finding it difficult to breathe. I'm usually so careful. I never say anything about Amma, Bhai and Kareena, and especially nothing about the baby. Had I inadvertently let something slip? I sat up and scanned the rest of the article, and the more I read, the more I relaxed. The major secret was that Bhai and Kareena, or Saifina, as they are together referred to, were not planning to have their child in London, as far as I knew. I remembered the interview. I remember answering the obligatory question about how I was feeling about becoming a bua again, dismissing the one about what preparations we were making, expressing vitriol about the one whether I wanted a girl or a boy for them. Will they have the baby in London? The question had come out of the blue and I was bemused. Why would they want to have the baby in London? There was some furious scribbling and a furtive exchange of glances, and I hastily added, I have no idea what they're planning, and as far as I know, they aren't planning to have the baby in London. I ended with my most convincing, but what would I know, shrug. So the fact that the baby would not be born in London, or Bolivia, or Zimbabwe, or Mars for that matter, was major news. Any tiny detail or non-detail is major news. And some journalists will come up with the most ingenious ways to uncover these tidbits, as illustrated below by the line of questioning I am often subjected to. Whilst premiering the first episode of The Great Indian Home Makeover, a televised show on interior redecorating that I host. Question. Speaking of presents, what are you going to give the baby? Have you decided? During a press conference to announce Kunal and my production company, Renegade Films. Question. Why did you choose the name? Why did you choose to name your company Renegade Films? Answer. Well, like that it stands for going against the grain, doing things differently. Question. Speaking of names, is it true they're naming their baby Saifina? You get the drift. I calculated that the damage done in this instance was minimal, so I tossed my phone aside, took another sip of my coffee, and turned to the less alarming headlines of the national press.
That's a great chat. Well, thank you so much, Saif. Kareena, would you...
I'm sure most of the media knows, but if there's one person in the family that I'm completely in awe of, I think it's Soha.
Wow.
Always,
you so much.
I mean, obviously just a little nervous, taking a cue from Kunal, obviously being that when I'm at dinner with Saif and Soha, I'm like, oh my god, I'm never going to understand this conversation. If Kunal can't, there's no way that I can. So Soha's always been so polite. She's always been like, oh yeah, hi, what's up? So yeah, okay, did you buy anything? So what's the gossip? So I'm like, oh god, I feel so small and lame. Is this what it's really going to be? And then I was like, but it's okay. But I think we found our way, and if there's anyone in the family that I think any of us turn to when Amma's all worked up and fired up, then there's just one person that can control the situation, and that's Soha. So, I mean, I truly, truly believe that she is the torchbearer of this family, and this title it doesn't do justice, because famous or not famous, she is the grounding in which all of us stand on. And I've truly seen that the way she has compassionately and with just as a breaking heart when her father was passing away. I've never seen any daughter. I'm a daughter. But I don't know if I could have done the way she looked after him. And that, in my eyes, to me, is a solid woman. So here's to you, Soha. And I'm sure Buzz listening to all of this. Yes, so fantastic. Let's hear it for none other than the brightest in the family, Soha Ali Khan.
Thank you so much. Okay, that was really sweet. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, very well.
Are you
very
enjoying-
well? Absolutely, everybody was so entertaining.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I know, like she says, you're one of her biggest critics. But are you proud?
I know they're making me sound like a bit of an ogre, right?
No. No, you just seem like a good mom. Yeah, no, that's what I'm supposed to say, right? No, but are you proud that she's written this book? Like,
Yes.
genuinely, are you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's really not easy to write a book. I mean, you can talk well, you can write paras, you can write columns, but to have the discipline to actually write that many chapters and make it into a book,
Yeah.
I think it's great and well done, Soha. Really, very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
We were taking a stroll, and suddenly Sohabia says, I have no idea who Bhai is going to marry. So she says, well, Bhai is a prince. So whoever he marries will be a princess. Right?
Yes, for being here. And thank you all for being my family.
Are you not going to read anything?
No, that's a Soha. Before we go, we'd love for you to. So I know, yeah, like I said, it's a tribute to your family, but there are also a lot of learnings in this book.
But we seek the perspective the distance and change can give. We travel because we know we will come home. And when we do, home is the same, but we are changed. And to feel frustrated, to feel that no matter what I achieve, in comparison to my parents, my brother, I will always fall short. But when you are standing on the edge of the spectacular Grand Canyon, for instance, and looking into its plunging depths, containing over 2 billion years of geographical history, you can...
Thank you, Soha. That's my favorite excerpt from the book as well. Yeah, I cried. It's just the next title of her next book. That is a prize. All right, so you guys ready? It's a quick quiz. Yeah. All right, the first question is, who is Soha's favorite author? Really? Nobody? No? Okay. Who is
Michael Connelly, Joe Nesbo. Joe Nesbo. Joe Nesbo.
Is that the correct answer?
It's Margaret Atwood. It's Julian Barnes.
Oh, well.
They don't actually know me at all, these people.
Wait, that's the answer?
Not eating her food on that? Oh.
Yeah, but Kunal first.
Okay. Yeah.
Well done, Kunal. You get the points for that question. Any consolation?
What's the real answer? Yeah, hunger, like anyone else.
Okay.
Blood sugar falls and you lose.
But genuinely, it's Kunal first. Okay. Astral home. Oh. No?
Presumably Amma knows the answer to this.
Jora Shako.
Yes, that's the correct answer. I think
this is rigged.
No, I've got questions for you guys.
I've already finished writing the book, and actually the timing was very good because I started writing the book and I discovered that I was pregnant and that I became larger and larger, and I was not in film, so I could use those 8 months to really focus on writing. So it was very fortuitous, and in fact there's a chapter on